Okay guys, welcome back to the fourth review video, and we're just gonna jump straight into this one. So the first thing that I went over, I had a slide with about 4 pieces on rivers, and the main thing I want to talk about is the Richard Wagner piece, also known as the Ring Cycle, and that was the big German opera piece. It's a very, very long operatic piece, but the main thing is that he gave the Rhine River a leitmotif. And we talked about leitmotifs, and they're like a small musical idea that represents a person, place, thing, or idea, or something like that. And we talked about Harry Potter, we talked about Star Wars, we talked about the Avengers, we had all that. And so leitmotifs. And so main thing about the river pieces is that Richard Wagner gave the Rhine River a leitmotif. Big thing. And now we're going to be going into our 7th piece called Ma Valst Vltava by Bedřich Smetana. Killed it. Okay, so Bedřich, remember, he grew up in Czechoslovakia, but this is when it was overrun by the German people. So he grew up and he only knew German and all that, but he really, really wanted to learn Czech, and he turned to music to express himself. His big thing was that his tutor was Franz Liszt. Yay, it's the piano guy. And so in the 1870s, Smetana wrote a cycle of 6-tone poems, which is a piece of music based off of writing or poetry. And first of all, his original composition was for a 4-handed piano, which is like when 2 people sit at one piano and, you got 4 hands. And he changed that into a composition for a full-on orchestra. And it debuted in 1882 in the city of Prague, and it was a huge hit. Everybody loved it. And so the main things about the actual piece is that we, in the academic world, we're going to address the piece as Vltava, but it is more popularly known by its German name, which is the Moldau. Smetana went completely deaf before the piece was premiered, so that's a little sad. And he wrote a whole program note because the piece is supposed to make the listener envision traveling down the Vltava River. And so he wrote this whole program note that includes a wedding feast and a hunt and ruined castles, and it's actually really cool. But and then the main theme of Vltava was derived from that piece with the funky Italian name, Fuggi, Fuggi, Fuggi da questo cielo, Escape, Escape, Escape from the Sky in English. And that tune also became a Christmas tune in France, and it became the national anthem of Israel. So that's pretty cool, and that's about that piece summed up. And then we talked a little bit about the Yellow River Piano Concerto, which is Prelude. It was Movement 1, Prelude, the song of the Yellow River Boatman by Zhang Zhenghe. And basically, we talked about the Yellow River, which is China's 2nd longest river. It's humongous, very, very long. It also floods a lot. We talked about the huge, devastating flood there. And now on to the composer and boat people. So Zhang Zhenghe was a boat person, and sadly, boat people were not very liked, but he was born into a boat people family. And remember his name, Zhanghe, because he was born on a boat at night. So his mother named him Zhanghe, which is stars and sea, which I think is really, really cool. He was the first Asian composition student at Paris University. Woo! And he was very poor. And at this time, which is about the 1930s, China was experiencing a struggle between the Nationalist Party and the Communist Party. And so the Communists decided to promote a national salvation song movement to bolster the spirit of the Chinese citizens. And so Jean wrote hundreds of songs toward this. And after war broke out between China and Japan in 1937, Zhang was inspired by a poem and decided to write a whole work dedicated to the Yellow River. And he went and he walked into his little cave, and 6 days later he showed up and he had the Yellow River Concerto. And they were like, wow, this piece is so good. We love this piece. It's amazing. The Communist Party was like, this is so great. We talked about that Mao Zedong's sent him a bottle of ink and a fountain pen that was like, come on, keep writing. And we don't know why he didn't buy him a house, but like that's a whole other thing. And then sadly, Jean traveled to Moscow and contracted pneumonia. And he died in Moscow in 1945, and that's about it. That's where we ended off on the thing. So that's basically all you need to know. So take it away, future Jody.